The summer of 2023 has just concluded. Yesterday was Labor Day, and I guess that's the beginning of the fall season. But it's hotter than hell season. It's recorded the last 5 years has been the hottest 5 years in heat than it has been since they started recording temperatures, which like in 1885 or something like that. And New York Times was doing that. And as I said, it's been the hottest summer in the last 115 years. That says a lot. And you can see it across the United States. Hotter than hell. Triple digits. When you go to middle of Death Valley, it's 135 degrees. Yeah, that says a lot. And of course, there's this great big, someplace they did in California, was it Nevada? Where everybody got to burning bush. And they got 2 inches of rain and turned the whole event into a mud puddle. You've got storm surges in the Caribbean, into that panhandle of the Florida, and they get a 3-foot storm surge, something like that, and it's really destructive. But they looked at the Caribbean is 90 degrees. Coral along Florida is being boiled alive, you might say. That's deadly tornado, not tornado, but a hurricane. Yeah, tornado too. On TV, they had the 100 worst, counting down the 100 worst Mother Nature's events they've had. They've had snowstorms. I mean, it's not just little snowstorms. Where snow is dumped, 2 or 3. They've had tornadoes, a year of multi-tornadoes going off at the same time, very destructive. Hundreds of billions of dollars in damages over 100 years. They looked at the Dust Bowl, and what was the Dust Bowl cause? Man. They said the original prairies out there had grasslands that were for the last 10,000 years or something like that. The deep roots in the grasses, but wheat doesn't have deep roots. And when it dried, they had great years, bumper years of producing grain, and then it got dry. And what did the farmers do? They planted it again, and it got dry again. No rain. A couple years, and turned everything to dust. They had a super Dust Bowl Sunday, where basically cities were engulfed in dust clouds. And any animals that you had out there died. Yeah. And people left by the hundreds of thousands to California. Population shift. But they looked at Galveston is at sea level, is built at sea level. So a 1-foot surge is a 1-foot surge. But when you have a 10-foot surge, because it got pushed by the winds, that does a lot of damage. And they show a lot of damage. They show hurricane damage. There's tornado damage, blizzard damage, flood damage. They have said that the oceans have gone up 1 foot in the last 100 years. So what's going to happen by the end of the century when it goes up to 2 feet? Another 2 feet, or 3 feet. It's very possible. Hottest it's ever been in the Arctic. Yeah, well, midnight sun. It is the hottest here and the hottest there. Hotter than hell. Cropland doesn't grow. You get over 100 degrees, Crops don't grow, they wither. You can go into major cities in the West and see the dead birds on the streets. They just simply die of heat exhaustion. Animals animals who you would never see in a city, go in a city, not so much. They're looking for water, yes. And people out there are still watering their lawns. Las Vegas, oh yes, they still have to have the thing, and all that water evaporates. People still water their lawns because they have to have a green lawn. In my neighborhood, I have brown grass. Hasn't rained here in a month. The last time it rained, it basically damped the ground. No heavy rains. But then one of my neighbors here has green grass. He has a cut every week. He has green grass. They haven't put into the thing that odd days and on that. It doesn't. At nighttime, he just simply waters his grass. They should charge by the water bill. My water bill happens to be a well. Do I drink the water from the well? I don't shower here. I go to the health club. I poop. Do I poop here? No, I go to the office to poop. Hotter than hell in 2023. And oh yes, another feature of 2023, Donald Trump, our ex-president, who got caught with stolen CIA folders. That hasn't been charged yet. He got charged in Georgia. And he got charged inciting a riot in January 6th, 2021. Will that get him time? He wanted to be the first this and the first that. I'm like, well, he's going down in history, all right. This 2023 is going to be hell. But every time somebody accuses him of something, his numbers go up among the Republicans. They give him money, $50 million to handle court fees. But he's a billionaire. Yeah, well, can't say Republicans are too bright between the ears. I know, I voted for him. And of course, there's always this thing, you're too old. You're right, I am too old. But Joe Biden's so Joe Biden's a whippersnapper. He's a young guy. What do you mean he's young? Well, I'm older than he is. Are you lucid? Yeah. Well. Are you then basically, well, he's too old? You mean your grandmother's too old? Your grandfather's too old too? Huh? You're basically saying they're too old to do anything? They're too old to vote? They're too old this and too old that? That's going to go great in your family. Keep that up and see what happens. But I'm quite sure in the 2023, it's 2023. Oh well, that's all I have for summer of 2023.